Born and raised in Lorain, Anthony Gallo grew up on West 23rd Street near George Daniels Stadium, a place he refers to as the sweet spot as he recalls his walks home from his kindergarten class for lunch. Tony's a 1982 graduate of Admiral King High School.
So I'm a Lorain boy through and through. I'm the baby of four. I grew up on West 23rd Street, sort of near George Daniel Field. Was between Washington and Beach Ave. And you know, we grew up in a house that was about 5 blocks from where my father was born, so very close to the Gallo homestead when my grandparents came over here. So I kind of lived in that sweet spot of Lorain and Lorain County when you went to community schools. I was walking distance to Washington School. I was about 1.5 blocks away from there. I went to Hawthorne, which was maybe about 5 blocks, and then I went to Admiral King, which was maybe about 10 blocks. So I was able to kind of walk. I never took a bus. You know, now all these kids today take buses to go everywhere and to get, you know, from one point to the next point for school. So, you know, I liked it.
Living 5 blocks from his grandparents, Tony grew up knowing the value of personal relationships. As an Italian family, they were all about gatherings, food, and fun. He and his wife, Teresa, thoroughly enjoyed their time with their family and friends.
You know, my #1 fan I lost just this past November. My uncle was the one that just absolutely was proud of everything that I did. And we would walk into you know, a bar or a restaurant or a fundraiser, and you know, he'd be the first one to point out, that's my nephew. You know, he's the president of the Chamber of Commerce. You know, everybody knows him. Don't bother him. He's got a lot of things on his plate. You know, so he was always either running interference for me if it was somebody that he didn't necessarily think I needed to talk to, or you know, he would talk to anybody about, you know, the good things that I was doing. So you know, he was the guy. I lost my dad when I was 17, so this was my dad's brother. So you know, he was like a second father to me for sure.
His other major supporter is his wife, Teresa. She's a trooper as she supports chamber members alongside her husband, whether it's hanging out listening to a local band, promoting a new spot or a business. For them, it's about supporting the local businesses. Not to mention, they're a couple who not only love each other, but they actually like each other, so they spend a lot of time together. After all, Tony's a great guy to know.
Yeah, Tony's knowledge of Lorain County is, you know, in my mind, second to none, and it's a real good advantage to me because, again, in my business as a distributor, a lot of times he knows something's going to happen before anybody else does, and it, you know, most certainly puts me in a good position to, you know, maximize my business. But it's just astounding. You know, I'll have conversations with Tony, and you know, just the history that he's able to repeat and what he knows about the county, and you know, not only where it's been in the past, but more importantly, where it's going to go in the future. And I look forward to, you know, definitely helping and assisting wherever I can to help, you know, the county and, you know, the cities in this county grow and prosper.
So the Mr. Lorain County moniker kind of predates. I used to hang around with so there were some young members that joined the chamber. And sort of like the hidden joke was they would refer to me as Uncle Tony because, you know, I was older than them, and you know, I was kind of trying to direct them, and actually this all started when the chamber was trying to start a young professionals group. So trying to get the younger people involved with the chamber, with Lorain County, and you know, how do we convince them that this is the right thing to do and to give back to. So what would happen is that they would get somebody, or they would know somebody that knew a business, and basically they would say, you need to talk to Tony Gallo. He knows everything about Lorain County. And I would get these phone calls on a regular basis. I just got one yesterday where somebody called me up saying, so-and-so from Locar said to give you a call because you know everything about Lorain County. Or I was given your name because you're the guy who could point me in the right direction in Lorain County. So it kind of got stuck where, okay, that's Mr. Lorain County. Anybody, if you got a question, call Tony. He's going to know the history of the business. He's going to know where this business used to be located. He's going to know who used to own it, who used to work there, where it used to be, you know, what happened to it. And I guess that's where the Mr. Lorain County part comes from.
10 years as Director of Business Development and 5 years as the President of the Chamber, Tony still finds time to give back to the community. He's a firm believer in the four-way test of Rotary. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
You know, at the end of the day, I work hard for the chamber. I take my job very seriously. You know, I know that there are some people out there that may or may not think that, you know, what I do is worthy. But, you know, everything that I do to promote businesses. I do to promote companies either, you know, staying in business. My background, my work at Wilmot Printing Company showed me what a small business struggles with. And I saw firsthand what the owner did from the time that I started there to the time that I left, and then eventually, you know, he ended up selling it, and it since has gone out of business as well too. But the struggles that small businesses go through day in and day out, I see on a firsthand basis, and I witnessed it with what he did. I saw him putting his own money in the bank to actually make payroll, so we never missed a paycheck. And you know, what I see are small businesses struggling with the big corporate entities just to stay in business.
Anthony Gallo, the 2018 Leadership Lorain County Difference Maker honoree for excellence in leadership.